everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves for another match review. Wolves have got a 1-1 draw away at Newcastle United this afternoon. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, what you thought of the game and what you thought of the result. Wolves, in the end, going up to 11th place after a point at St James's Park. But we're going to be talking about the game today. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. So Wolves, of course, with the horrible news about Willy Bolly's injury late last night, had a few options regarding defence. Nuno had a little bit of a headache with selecting which defenders he was going to go for. Was it going to be Vallejo, Kilman, Sace? Would Dendoncker drop in as well? And in the end, he opted, strangely, for Sace on the left-hand side and Matt Doherty on the right-hand side to start off the game. The club, obviously the club's Facebook, Twitter accounts put a graphic out with the team, and it looked like it was going to be Dendoncker at the back and so on. But we started with Doc at centre-back, with Adama and Jonny as the wing-backs, Neves, Dendoncker and Moutinho in the middle, with Jota and Jimenez up front. And the first half overall was pretty poor. Defensively, we were okay for most parts of the first half. But going forward, again, we were almost non-existent, to be honest. Really struggling to break through the Newcastle back line. Very rarely troubling Dubravka and co. And we just weren't getting the ball forward in the right areas. Adama, obviously, playing as the wing-back, didn't get forward enough. And it was a half to forget for Wolves. There's no attacking impetus whatsoever, and that's been the story of our season so far. Before this weekend, we were bottom for chances created, and you could sort of see why with how we were playing. I think in the match preview, I called for us to start with a 3 up front, and I think that would have definitely worked if we'd gone for that throughout the game. It looked like Newcastle had almost matched us formation-wise, playing a 5 at the back. Their midfield as well, of the Longstaff brothers, and then the likes of Almiron, St Maximin and Joe Linton as well. St Maximin, fantastic player, and obviously did cause Wolves some problems throughout the game as well. The only real half chance we gave Newcastle before their goal in the first half was just a basic route one ball over the top to Almiron, who took it down quite well. On another day, he would have put it in the back of the net. Good pressure by Rui Patricio coming out quite quickly to him, but that was our first real scare. And then obviously Newcastle's goal came. Jota, unfortunate, of course. Well, I say unfortunate. It was a great tackle on St Maximin to win the ball back, but his clearance is extremely poor. He's obviously looking for Jimenez, but to pass it, I don't know. Obviously, that pass was cut out. Ball coming in, goes deep, and then back in by the centre-back Fernandez for the other centre-back, Lascelles, who just ran in between Cody and Sace and put the ball into the back of the net. And that just... it just summed up a game at the first half. I don't think either side deserved to go 1 up at half time, but it was a real wake-up call for Wolves. And we know how good Wolves are in the second halves, but to go down 1-0 in the first half, we really need to start waking up, to be honest. I don't want this to be the Wolves thing where, it takes us 45 minutes to wake up in the game. It would be nice to start scoring goals in the first half and actually start taking an advantage into half time. But it did take until half time for us to wake up. The actual formation changed. The Dendoncker did drop into the back, and we actually played in the second half as we all thought we'd start the first half. So Adama pushed up as a winger with Jota in there as well, and then the middle two, Neves and Moutinho. Which normally I don't really like Moutinho and Neves playing as a 2. But I think with the Longstaff brothers, they're not that big and physical. So it sort of worked for us today. And it was clear that Newcastle, being 1-0 up, Steve Bruce had said to them, let's just make sure we hold on to this lead. So they were very, very defensive throughout the second half. And that allowed Wolves to press and press and press. And for the majority of the first half, especially the first 15 minutes, I think it was just a matter of time before we were going to go and score a goal. Jota looked threatening going forward. He was making all the right runs, and slowly but surely we had spells in that second half where we were seeing the Diogo Jota of the last couple of seasons, a player that likes to pick up the ball, drive and run at defenders, and at times he was unstoppable. He couldn't be stopped, but unfortunately 2 pretty tame efforts were easily stopped by Dubravka. But we're really knocking on the door. Eventually, obviously, it came. Jota getting withdrawn. Pedro Neto coming on, which is quite an interesting one. Obviously, Nuno has a lot of faith in the youngster. He's just come back from his injury. So he came on. And we ended up getting the goal. Good work on the right-hand side. I think Doc, it was the exact same story after Slovan Bratislava. Doc was poor in the first half. As soon as he brought Adama Traore to combine with him on the right-hand side, it was great. And it worked again today, pushing Adama forward and Doc in behind, those two working together, because Doc is so intelligent with his runs and actually does have a little bit of pace and skill as well, as does Adama. And it just works so well. And those two combining fantastically. Again, a great cross into the box. Dubravka with a poor punch out, but we'll take it every day of the week. Jonny Otto, right place, right time, smashes it into the back of the net to take us back level. And for our second half performance alone, it was no more than we deserved, to be honest. Really, really deserved that goal and putting the pressure on. And then, of course, coming towards the end of the game, Newcastle ended up getting a red card. It was one of the Longstaff brothers with a pretty high challenge, wasn't it, on Neves. I was actually, thinking before I saw the replays, it's going to be Sod's Law VAR come and overturn this. But it wasn't a clear and obvious error, but it was a definite red card as well. It was almost knee height, dangerous challenge, and reckless as well by the Newcastle man. So they went down to 10 men. They withdrew Joe Linton. I thought, here we go. It's going to be 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes of us just going at 11 men behind the ball. Newcastle did go for it slightly towards the end, bringing Gale and Atsu on, but it really didn't threaten us much at all in that second half. And then Doc coming extremely close, almost having deja vu of the last season's away game at St Andrews. Doc in the last minute, just coming off the corner of his head and spun wide. Late VAR check as well for a penalty. I mean, you've seen them given, haven't you? But I think the fact that he didn't go down, I think it would have been harsh on Newcastle as well. But overall, it's an okay point for Wolves. It was a poor first half, a good second half, and it's a decent point for Wolves. A win would have been great. It would have shot up to 6th place in the league, but it's still all to play for. So tight in that middle pack now. And it's just a matter of, it's just, Wolves now needing to pick up more points, I think, against these lower sides and really putting them to the sword and start to get the ball and start to look more devastating when we're going forward. Because I think defensively, we're sound, but going forward is a bit of an issue at the moment. But I think it shows today, with or without Willy Bolly, I think the result probably would have been the same, to be honest. But I think, he is going to be a huge miss, Willy Bolly, and it'll be interesting to see how we combat it and how we recover from that. I think Arsenal will be a big test next week because I think Bolly sort of thrives in those sort of games. But nevertheless, a 1-1 draw. Again, no loss. I think it's 2 wins, 2 losses for Wolves, and 6 draws now in it. Is it in the league? So okay point. Could have been better, but again, could have been worse. Could have been a bit of a poor weekend. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit the like button, guys, if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.